Donald Trump, not the only Republican candidate rising in the polls in the wake of last Thursday's debate here on Fox. Renowned brain surgeon Ben Carson also has climbed into fourth place, as you can see right there, in Iowa.
That's right, Steve. So where does a doctor go from here? Well, he joins us now at the Curvy Couch. Dr. Carson, is such an honor to have you here on our Curvy Couch.
Good morning.
You're surging in the polls. Why, in your mind, is this happening right now in Iowa? You're right there, 9%.
Because people are listening. You know, I was in Iowa this weekend. I had just enormous crowds of people, very enthusiastic. And what I'm talking to them about are things that affect their lives and the lives of their children and their grandchildren. And, you know, they're not going to hear just political speak from me. And they know that. And right now, I think a lot of people in our country recognize that we are not going to survive if we continue to stick our heads in the sand and do what we traditionally have done.
Right. And I think it's also important, too, when people go up to you and say, wow, how smart, how intelligent, how accomplished, look at his circumstances. But has he run anything like the government? Has he been mayor? Has he been governor? Has he been the CEO anywhere? What's your answer?
My answer to that is, if you look at the combined political experience in Congress, it's just under 9,000 years. I'm not sure that that's the solution.
And you know what? You get such a big laugh at the end of the debate when you were talking about half a brain and Washington, D.C. It clicked with a lot of people. I want to ask you about this. Our lead story this morning is that shockingly last night, and nobody knows exactly why it happened last night, but Hillary Clinton's campaign turned over her private email server to the Department of Justice. We just had Judge Napolitano on, who said she could be in grave legal trouble.
Yeah, well, you know, I've been saying for weeks, whether she's in legal trouble or not, if people are paying attention, they recognize that someone in her position who doesn't realize that they are putting the nation's security at risk by doing what they're doing, how in the world are you going to turn the keys over to them? Are you kidding me?
Well, that's a great thought, and really speaking to the American people on that. Let me ask you this. We heard from Donald Trump, and he was in Michigan, and said that his favorite book is the Bible. You have said your tax plan is based on tithing, right out of the Bible.
Right.
Why is that important to you?
Well, because it's important to actually be fair. You know, you have people like our current president who says, well, the top 1%, they don't pay their fair share. The top 1% pays 37% of the taxes. So if they were paying their fair share, they wouldn't be paying anywhere close to that amount. But the key thing is you have to recognize in the history of this nation, how did we go from declaring our independence in 1776 to the #1 economic power less than 100 years from there? It was because we had a system that encouraged entrepreneurial risk-taking and capital investment.
Right, and you feel as though that's gone. In terms of you personally, everyone's talking about race. We had Ferguson, the riots the last 2 days, and you overcome tremendous circumstances to be successful. What is your answer to people saying, like the president, that he says he's going to spend the next 18 months, he feels responsible for healing race relations? What do you feel responsible to do as a African-American, world-renowned surgeon who's a Republican?
Well, you know, I have a very deep concern for the downtrodden in our society. If you go back and you look at my history, you will see that is consistently the pattern. You know, putting in reading rooms, particularly in Title I schools around the country, going around and speaking at schools. I had a program at the hospital where we had hundreds of kids come in, and I would talk to them and show them slides and try to get them encouraged. It's just that I don't believe in the progressive model of you poor little thing, you're the victim, and I'm going to take care of you, because that's not getting us anywhere. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to wake people up.
So how do you get people who are downtrodden, as you say? How do you get those people who maybe through democratic policy have been trapped in this system? How do you get them out? Because
by doing it, sometimes you look mean if you go and say, I'm going to cut this program and cut that program.
Well, you know, it's a false narrative that I want to get rid of all of welfare and all the programs. That's just something that the left wing puts out to try to make me seem like a bad guy. That's absolutely a lie. But what I do want to do is get business, industry, academia, Wall Street, churches, community groups involved in investing in people around him, because that's the only thing that brings people out.
Sure.
Government programs.
Investing in those communities.
You know, since the 60s, we spent over $19 trillion on the war on poverty. What do we have? 10 times more people on food stamps, more welfare, more incarceration and crime, broken families, out of wedlock birth. Everything that was supposed to be better is not only worse, it's much worse.
Well, your message is resonating. I know a lot of people are suddenly giving money to your campaign. Final question. How's your retirement going?
Well, I'm still looking forward to that one of these days, but it won't be anytime soon.
How much money have you brought in since the debate?
In the last 3 business days, we've had over 17,000 contributions and more than $2 million in the last 2 days.
Congratulations, Dr. Carson.
Dr.
It was great to
Carson,
see you.
Great to have you here.